Man, you get soft living in California, you know? Gets below 75 degrees. You just can't take it anymore. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Getting ready to head into work. Get ready for Jum'ah, inshallah. And I wanted to share a few thoughts. I'm going to be participating in an event this weekend at the Islamic Center of Irvine. And it's an event that's titled the Young Professionals First Annual Conference. And the three major themes that the various speakers, I don't like that term, but the various people, the various experts that will be talking, myself included, will be speaking on love, faith, and wealth, which I thought, to be quite honest, all due respect, I thought was sort of like a odd pairing. Love, faith, and wealth. Anyway, and it will be interesting to see how all of us bring something, I guess you could say, important to bear on the topic. And then, so for myself, I've been giving this quite a bit of thought, and I wonder in some ways if, instead of me trying to pontificate on love, I mean, what do I know enough about that topic to tell anybody how to live, and you'll go find love. And then faith, okay, and then wealth. Well, if you want to know anything about wealth, I'm definitely not your man. And so I thought, instead of trying to come up with something witty to say about all three, or just simply rehashing simple talking points that either people can find on Google, of course that's probably passé now. You can go ask Chat or perhaps DeepSeek, and it or they can tell you everything that you need to know about these things. But I thought my general approach, and I'm kind of ironing it out in this little video, is that perhaps what I will do is talk about, are these things, perhaps even subconsciously, are they more like expectations? Are they entitlements? Are they things that we feel that we're entitled to have? We're entitled to have love. We're entitled to have faith, which I know that might be an interesting one. And then obviously entitled to have wealth. So love, what do we mean by love? We can talk about how Allah talks about love in the Quran, and how there's different words for love. There's ishq and mawadda and hub and on and on. We could talk about that. But I thought that, perhaps the reason why, and I'm just venturing a guess here, is that if the people that were putting this thing together were, let's just say, younger, and I can understand how to, anybody, but young people in particular, these three are important things. Then, however, by putting these three things out there, might they not be, in and of themselves, a kind of entitlement? And we're going to talk about love, faith, and wealth because these are things that we're entitled to have. Now, we may not think of that, right at the front of our mind, so to speak, but I just wondered. And so I may, after some more wrestling with the topic, after Jumu'ah, inshallah, I may wrestle with this topic some more and see kind of how that feels. Because again, I feel that what am I going to tell you about, what am I going to tell you about any of these three things, in that I'm not an expert. Now that might seem odd that, as an imam, you're not an expert on faith. Well, I can help you study and learn and contemplate all of the aspects of faith, but again, I really feel like these are such abstract concepts that in some ways it makes it challenging to come and say something meaningful on them. The other thing is that I feel, we can get locked into the idea of scholars or people that are perceived to be scholars always having something to say about everything. And so I also feel I might use this opportunity to bring this up. But I look forward to it, inshallah. I also want to see what the other people are going to bring to bear on the topic. My brother, my friend, Imam Sohaib Webb will be there. Sheikh Mustafa Umar will be there. There's a sister that will be presenting. I'm not familiar with, so I can't remember her name off the top of my head, and I'm not familiar. I don't think I've ever heard her talk or I've met with her, but I know that there will be like a sheikha, a sister that will be there, and then there's another gentleman, but I'm not familiar with. I think his name is Muhammad Faris, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, if perhaps by the time I upload this video to to YouTube or whatnot, I'll put the flyer in here so you can see who the people, inshallah, will be. It's my understanding that how I got even involved in this was that my friend Sheikh Joe Bradford was going to be involved, but due to perhaps a scheduling conflict or something, was unable to go, and so they called me to come up off the bench, and so inshallah I'll just be trying to fill in for him. So if you have a chance, I'll put the link also in the description. Check that out and spread the word. I think that I think inshallah it'll be a good opportunity for other Muslims to meet and to socialize. I think to have all these three things, love, faith, and wealth, and of course that doesn't necessarily mean those are arranged hierarchically before anybody panics. Shouldn't faith become, hey, look, this is what it is. That I think being surrounded by good people that generally share your same outlook on life and your same values and or your same things that are important to you in life, those things will help you not only in the acquisition potentially of those three, but also in moments where all three of those are challenged. So that might be something else I'll talk about is what happens in the case of when you fall out of love or somebody falls out of love with you. How do you deal with that? How do you deal? And I just made a video yesterday talking about faith and, why do so many people today, struggle with faith? And so having good people around you that can help you and assist you and kind of not let you just go into free fall. And likewise, if your wealth is tested and taken from you, who do you have in your corner? So I think, inshallah, I hope that some of this will produce some not just thought-provoking, conversation, but also hopefully something somewhat practical that people can walk away with, both individually, but then we can also think about them collectively, because I think that's another important component. That they're presented as, there's these three entitlements: love, faith, and wealth. And it's not to say that as a Muslim, one should not have a reasonable expectation, or rather say a reasonable aspiration, that one will have love, faith, and wealth within the Muslim community. But what are we doing to also foster that from an infrastructure point of view? So, don't want to give it all away, but those are some of my thoughts, inshallah, of how I might approach it. Again, I'll spend some time this afternoon after Jumu'ah kind of tinkering with it, and who knows, maybe I'll wind up doing something else. But let me know your thoughts, and perhaps I will even see some of you there. Assalamu alaikum.